Hey everybody, it's Gordy coming at you today. It is Sunday, late October, and we're expecting below freezing temps in about a week. I think next weekend, Friday night or Saturday night. So I've got to get busy and do some winterization on my camper. And October has been winter preparedness or cold weather preparedness in the APN, in Arkansas Preparedness Network. If you live in or immediately outside the borders of Arkansas, look us up on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of my camper today and kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing, and hopefully at the end of the video I'm not too tired, worn out, or get busy doing something else, and I can show you at least a little bit of it finished. So I took a trip to my local, here I'll show you this first. Hopefully you can see that. That's the camper. I've got my little deck there with a couple of chairs so I can enjoy an adult beverage and a cigar every now and then, or my pipe. Just a little piece every now and then, some shalom. So I went over here. Yeah, this is a mobile home park that is being transformed into an RV park. A lot of the slots are being, this used to be a mobile home slot here that they converted to a long-term RV slot, since I knew I was going to be here for probably at least 6 months until I can get the property done and get a house built. Hopefully by the end of next summer I'll have a house built, and hopefully by spring I will be able to move the camper out to the property while the house is being built. All right, back on task. So I went to the local home improvement store today. That's the back of my truck. Good old truck. I got two different types. Hopefully you can kind of see here. This one is kind of a yellow foam insulation, and then this is just plain old white styrofoam. The white styrofoam with the foil backer here has a little better R value than this stuff does, but this stuff is a lot stiffer. See, that's actually fairly stiff. And the idea is that I'm going to underpin or create some kind of hard skirting around the underside of my camper with this, and the foil tape to kind of tape it all in place. This stuff here I'm going to cut. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. This stuff here I'm going to cut to fit in my windows and my hatch doors in the camper. So oh, and I also picked up this little dude. This is, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this, this is a water faucet cover insulator for winter to help keep your water faucets from freezing when we get around the other side of the camper, and I'll show you what I intend to do with that. So here's an example. This hatch right here, let me open this up for you. This hatch, actually, that's the underside of my sofa and my bed, and I'll show you all that when we get inside. But this hatch is very, very thin compared to how thick the side is here. If you can see how thick that is 2 inches thick, and it is insulated with fiberglass. This door panel here is barely insulated at all, if at all. So I've got to put some of the styrofoam insulation in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck it inside this lip here. And as we walk around, of course, I'll be underpinning all underneath here behind my steps. I'm going to have to get everything out from underneath the camper that I want to be able to access for the winter, i.e. that propane bottle, because I'm probably going to need that. But we'll walk around here, and these propane bottles I have to get exchanged. I've got to take some tools to my storage unit. I'm going to try not to show you my license plate there, but I've been responsible for cutting my grass. I've got to take that to the storage unit as well. The good old sewer setup here. So here's the important part. So I do have this slide out here, which is nice. It gives me quite a bit extra room. But all of this is going to have to be underpinned, and I'm going to have to take time and get it cut out, so that I want to protect all of these valves. Hopefully you can see that if I get a little bit closer. But this is the black water tank valve. This is the gray water tank valve. And it's funny, the handles are black and gray, right? The gray water can stay open most of the time. Wow, I just noticed I've got a little bit of a water leak too. But that's okay. I've got a new hose that'll be here tomorrow, and I'm going to replace this hose. I'll explain that here in a sec. But I've got to make sure I keep all of that from freezing, because it would be a very bad day if I couldn't basically flush my toilet. If the tank freezes or these valves freezes and I can't drain the tanks, that would be a bad day, and I wouldn't be a very good prepper, would I? So, all right. This is where the water goes into the camper. This is fresh water. This is a special hose for this that doesn't impart BPA and all that stuff into it. But if I get over here, you can see it goes in straight. Well, what I've done is I've bought this little dude today, and I'm going to set this up with the new hose that's coming in. Is actually electric heated, so this will actually come straight down. And then I'll be able to take that faucet cover and trim it to fit around the hose, and it'll sit right here over the top of all this and help protect all of this brass fitting and all this from freezing. And that is a pressure regulator right there, which helps keep it from getting too much pressure in the camper and causing leaks inside the camper. And then that's my hot water heater and electricity that goes in from over here. So all of this is going to have to be underpinned, and I'm going to underpin up to and then around the slide out here. And man, look at that big window. I love that big window, except right now my view is not fantastic. But once I get out to the property and have a view of the woods and the squirrels and the birds and the raccoons, it's going to be great. So you can see my hose underneath there. And of course, here's another one of those hatches. My hose goes here. This is my city water service that I'm going to have to take care of and make sure all of that is a heated hose so it doesn't freeze. And then of course here's my propane tanks, and I wanted to show you this. It came with a really cheap valve. I want you to see that that's green right there. Hopefully you can see that. This came with a really cheap regulator that was not an auto cutover. And what this setup does is it allows me to have both of the tank's valves turned on, and then whichever way this is pointed is the one that it pulls propane from. And when that one runs empty, it will automatically switch over to this one, and that little indicator will turn red. So as long as I monitor this, I don't have to worry about my propane running out in the middle of the night and waking up and it being 25 degrees inside the camper. I'd like to keep it around 60 to 65 degrees if at all possible. So wanted to show you that. And I also have down there, if you can see that second battery box under there, I have a second battery tied to this. This camper, let's walk back around the other side and then I'll take you inside and give you a quick tour inside. This camper, except for the air conditioner and the microwave, runs on 12 volts. Even my refrigerator runs on 12 volts. So I've been real happy with that. This is, so y'all welcome to my home. Here we go. So this is the camper. You've seen a couple of videos with me sitting here on this sofa. That's my bed. I've got, let's go this way, wardrobe there and a wardrobe over here, coat hanging. And I'll show you real quick how this bed comes down. There's a little latch here, and the bed just kind of folds down actually. Let me switchblade the sofa down and drop the bed down so you can see. That's my bedroom, and then we go back up here and lift this thing back up, and now it's my living room. And I'll show you that hatch that I showed you before. You can see the light coming in there. That's the inside, and you see how close it is to my bed and my living area. Here's my sink, my stove, little tiny oven. I do have a pretty large refrigerator. That's a 10 cubic foot refrigerator, and that refrigerator runs on 12 volts. So the extra battery, if I do lose shore power for any reason, I'll still be able to run with that. And I do have an 80-watt solar panel that I could hook up to my battery system to keep me going at least for a little while. Of course, I got the microwave. I told you, microwave, air conditioner, no electricity, no runny. I've got this huge closet here is my pantry, and this shelf didn't come with. This is what the shelves look like. So I had to add a little shelf to make room since I am living here full time. I've got some spices in the door, my paper towels, dishes down here, so forth and so on. And then we'll keep going right on into the bathroom. This is my wardrobe, which goes all the way to that wall. I've got lots of clothes. I think you can see me in the mirror there. And I upgraded that fan because the fan that came with was horrible. And when you take a shower every day in a camper, it puts a lot of humidity in the camper. And humidity is an enemy because these campers were built so cheaply. I won't even say inexpensively. They're built cheaply. So, yeah, I needed to be able to eject some humidity, so I had to upgrade the fan there. But again, wardrobe and vanity, sink. Oh, quick little tip. I bought that stuff. That's black tank deodorizer and enzyme stuff. Man, what a pain in the butt using the liquid stuff is. I ended up, I got some of those little toss-in packets. Much, much better. It cost a little bit more, but the convenience and not having a huge mess is incredible. And I've got a little storage here. This area here is the storage. That hatch that's near the back of the camper is right there underneath my closet, and it'll be awfully cold in the bathroom if I don't do something about that. So, and then I've got a shower, which does me very well. It's, you know, I use it almost every day. And then I've got, if you can see, these cabinets here that I added some shelves to, and this cabinet down here, which I have not added a shelf to as of yet, not sure I'm going to. And there was a panel covering that area because there are some water lines back there in the back. So in an effort to recover some of that area, I pulled that panel off and I keep my extra toilet paper there. So that takes care of that. Oh, I also added, I've got right here, an entertainment area, coffee. You guys know I like my coffee, right? And a couple of shelves here. It's kind of dark in there, but I added a shelf up there. I did not add a shelf here because that's my liquor cabinet and cigars and medicine cabinet. And then down here, some of my green coffee beans and my printer and a few other items. And then that down there is where the hot water tank is. This is my control panel here. Coffee storage stuff up here, and then see if you can see that the slide out, and it's a little bit messy. That's ham radio gear there. Trying to get back involved in ham radio and make contact with some folks in other parts of the state in an effort to maintain communications. But this is that big window I was talking about, and then of course my dinette table, and it's got legs underneath it, just lifts off of that. Oh, my primary source of heat, as much as possible, is going to be this efficient little oil radiator heater, which runs off electricity, which electricity costs me a lot less than propane. So the styrofoam, I am going to, in these windows, there's a little bit of a lip here. I hope you can see that. There's a little bit of a lip, and I'm going to cut that styrofoam to fit in this window as snugly as I can and push it in. And on this window here as well, same kind of thing. So hopefully you can see. I know it may be a little bit dark. And then this window is a little bit different. This is my emergency exit in case there's a fire or anything like that. But I can do the same thing. I just have to do it from the outside and put that in there, and then pull this window closed and lock it. And I know I'm spinning you around a little bit and all, but that's a tour of the camper, and that's what I'm going to be doing today, and hopefully I'll be able to, once I get these pieces cut, I'll show you what they look like, and I'll show you some installation, and it'll probably be another video that I'll do, and I'll show you how I'm underpinning, because I may not be able to get to that today. So all right, I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, hopefully you can see what's going on here. I'm going to tell you how I'm radiusing these corners. What I did is I measured how far the radius was deep on the corners of the window, and it's a 3-inch radius. So what I'm doing is, in order to cut this radius cut, I'm going 3, well actually I need to go down here first, 3 inches here, and 3 inches here, and then I'm going to come up here, and that's going to be 3 inches there, and 3 inches there. So now, since it's a 3-inch radius, I've got my 3-inch point. Now I'm going to point my tape measure from my mark down and mark that, and then I'm just going like halfway in between that mark and marking that, and then over here doing the same and marking that. So I don't know if you can tell, but I've kind of got my radius laid out there, and I'm just kind of freehand winging this, and we'll see how it fits here in a little bit. But the styrofoam actually cuts pretty easy, and it's soft enough that if I do screw it up, I'm pretty sure I can get it in there. So that's just a freehand radius cut, and perfection is the enemy of good enough. I got to get ready for winter, y'all. Okay, here we go. I know the lighting's horrible, but I'm going to take this big one that I cut and see if I can get it in that window. I'm pretty sure the radius cuts are going to be close enough. It's styrofoam, it's soft. I'll be able to mold it up in there. So let's give this a shot and see what happens. It's going to be interesting getting it in here around these are boxed shades that are on here. So let's see if I can get that. Hey, looky there. And up in there. Is that line up? Okay. Ooh. Oh. I think we're going to be good enough for government work, as they say. Hey. Check that out. That dude fit right in there. It's a little bit tight, which is what I want. That'll help keep any of the cold air from coming out. And I know it's not real pretty, but I mean, you saw what the view was. It's the next camper over. So that's what my view looks like most of the time anyway. So let's go see what it looks like on the outside. Okay, here we are. You can see right through. I left the door open on the camper because that's yeah, in case you weren't aware. Obey, yeah. It's warmed up enough, which is good, because I'm able to get some stuff done here. And then this is this window here. I'm gonna have to do two, and I think you can see the light on up in there. So let's see. Oh man, isn't that so pretty on the outside? Yeah, polypropylene or whatever it says, but you know what? Works for me. It's gonna keep me warm this winter. All right, this is probably gonna be it, because I'm gonna get busy doing the rest of this. I don't know. I may try and add on a little bit later, but in case I don't, y'all bless you guys. I'll catch you next time. Well, I wanted to do a quick update before I quit for the day. All the windows are done. I can, they're all covered. This one here's covered. The main reason that I wanted to come back and give you an update, if you remember the vent fan in the bathroom, I made a cover for this thing. What I did is I just tied a washer onto the back of a piece of string and pulled that through there so that I can actually pull that in and out, because I'm going to want to be able to use that to help keep the humidity out. And I also made one for the shower skylight as well. And all my hatches are done. I've got a whopping 3 hatches, but at any rate, all 3 hatches are done, and yeah, this window here's done too. So all the windows, all the hatches, the skylight, and the vent fan complete. I have not started on the underpinning yet, and if you can see down there, you can see I haven't started on the underpinning. I'm gonna have to start working on that one in the evenings or next weekend, because I'm a tired old man. It's been a long day. Anyway, God bless. Y'all have a good one. It's time for a beverage. Shalom, y'all. Catch you next time.